Hey guys, Matt and Scott here from the Old 77. Just wanted to take a moment and say, have you heard about Anchor yet?
It's a great way to do a podcast.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like, Anchor's got all of this stuff for you. Get analytics. We're online, everywhere. Apple, Google, and they did all of that for us. We didn't have to submit anything.
Nope. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer.
Right, so no computer, no problem.
Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Before we start the Old 77 today, I feel I need to give you a disclaimer. I have said on this show before that we're not here to talk politics, because you're not here to listen to politics. Today, for the first 20 minutes and segment 1, we do talk politics. It's Dave and I, and the views expressed are solely his and mine. So if you're not here for that, we understand. Segment 2, though, doesn't touch it at all.
Hey there. This is the Old 77. It's a safe place in an unsafe world. Warning, foul language may occur due to the subject matter. Call or text the Old 77 listener line at 573-246-0779. Subscribers get bonus content and early access to episodes. Find out more at patreon.com/the Old 77 podcast. Thanks for listening to the Old 77. Now let's get on with the show.
It's hard to stay away from politics these days, dude.
No, I totally agree with that.
Yeah. Especially since RBG died and all that shit.
Oh, man.
And that's what I was going to say, man. If he gets...
Well, he's supposed to say his nomination...
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow
at like 5, I think.
Seriously, tomorrow? She ain't even in the ground yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure you saw the video of him and Melania at the wake. And
they got booed and everything.
They got booed, and people were chanting, vote him out.
That was great.
Vote him out, yeah. It was fucking weird, dude, because, you know, like, for one thing, they both had masks on, which I'm not used to seeing that. Usually when I see him, he never
That's a new thing, I think. Yeah. Did she have one on?
She had one on too, and it was weird, man, because like here's RBG's casket with an American flag draped across it.
Right.
And here's Don and here's Melania on the other side, and they were just like standing there, just like looking straight forward.
They didn't really want to be there.
It looked like some shit out of a
photo op.
It looked like some shit out of a movie, dude. Like, the news has gotten to the point these days where every day it seems like I'm watching something out of a movie.
Right. Well, that's because it kind of is, you know, we've got a showman.
Yeah.
Not a statesman.
Yeah.
You know.
And
it shows.
Yeah. We're doing damage that is going to take a long time to repair, and I hate to even say it, man, but it might be too late.
You know,
I hope I'm wrong, man. No
matter what's going to happen, and I really hope it's Joe,
of course,
who comes in next.
Yeah.
I will say this: all that talk about not leaving, that kind of worries me a little.
Dude, I've been saying that for a long time.
Oh, I've said that too for a long time.
Yeah.
He said something the other day. It was, we're going to put the ballots away, and it'll just be a continuation.
Yeah, it won't be a transfer. It'll be a continuation.
It'll be a continuation.
And
that bothers me.
It should bother everybody.
That bothers the hell out of me.
It should bother Republicans just as much as it bothers Democrats, man.
Man, I know.
I mean, I hate, because this is what liberals always go to. But can you imagine if Obama would have said that?
Could you imagine if George Bush had said that?
Anybody.
I mean, Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And it seems like
anyone.
Shit's been crazy all 4 years, but it seems like it's like we're slowly being conditioned.
We're being unraveled
to not even have a response to it, you know.
And things are happening so fast that we become immune to it.
Yeah.
You know, they always say that they wondered, you know, well, how could people just stand by and watch it? Well, we're kind of doing it right now.
You mean like in Germany?
Like not necessarily in Germany, but yes, like in Germany. And
yeah, man.
How do things like that happen? How do guys like that become dictators? Or how do things like that progress?
Right. Yeah, man.
Didn't society see it?
Right. And man, you know, I have thoughts like that all the time. I have thoughts like, okay, now I understand how somebody like Hitler. And I'm not saying that Trump is Hitler or that, but I'm saying like
he's not nearly smart enough to be Hitler.
Right.
Thank God.
But thank God. But at the same time, I think the people that enable him are smart enough to do some pretty bad shit.
Right.
And are doing it. That's why I'm absolutely convinced that he is being, puppeteered.
Well, I don't think it's necessarily puppeteered, but go back to history and look at the Romans, because I believe it was Justin Tinney, and I can't remember exactly the Roman emperor who said this, but he may have been Nero, where he coined the phrase, never overlook a good disaster.
Yeah.
Because you can hide so much shit in it.
Yeah.
That is still to this day.
Yeah.
Well, this entire fiasco that we've went through for the past 4 years has been a disaster.
Yeah.
Imagine how much stuff with all of this distraction going on we can push through and we can get around and we can do now.
Yeah.
And especially now if the power, is to the people who are in power right now.
Yeah.
Because Democrats, they're not getting anything like that done. Well, maybe they are. I don't know. I don't know how all of that goes down outside of publicly known things.
Well, I definitely feel like the Republicans play by a completely different set of rules. The RBG thing is a perfect example. Okay,
Right.
So when Scalia died in 2016, he died, I think, in March of 2016. So it was like, 6 or 7 months away from the election when he passed away.
Exactly.
And
we had what was it, Merrick Garland?
Yeah, that
And they refused to confirm him until the election.
Yeah. Who was it that it was Neil? Was it Neil Gorsuch? Or Neil Gorsuch is the one that ended up being
Gorsuch
nominated
is
by
the
Trump.
one. Yeah, he's the one who ended up filling the position.
Yeah, and so Merrick Garland was the one that Obama nominated. So it's funny because there are clips on Fox News or one of those stations after Scalia had died of Republicans saying, well, I wish that he would nominate somebody like Merrick Garland. And they said him by name.
Well, he was one of the few, yeah.
Not expecting that he would actually nominate him. And then he did. And of course, they ate their words or didn't eat their words and still wouldn't even give him a hearing.
Right.
And now here we are. People are literally voting today. I voted today. And they're trying to jam a nominee through.
Right.
And Lindsey Graham is on tape saying back in 2016, on tape that, hey, use my words against me. If the same situation happens with a Republican president, we will not nominate.
If there's a Republican president in 2016 and a vacancy occurs in the last year of the first term, you can say Lindsey Graham said, let's let the next president, whoever it might be, make that nomination, and you could use my words against me, and you'd be absolutely right.
I hope that guy gets voted out.
Yeah, and it looks like there's a possible chance that he will.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, what's the guy's name that's running against him? I can't remember
clue.
his name. Yeah,
it could be a friggin' rock, and I don't care.
I can't remember the guy's name. But he's getting a lot of national attention and stuff. And I mean, obviously, there's a lot of people that would love for Mitch to go, myself included.
Mitch McConnell. I don't like that guy either.
I don't either.
He just looks like a shady possum.
Well, I think
being a guy who comes from the country, I've seen some possumy looking people.
Yeah, I think he looks more like a turtle.
Really?
Oh, definitely.
Oh, I get the possum look.
He probably eats a lot of lettuce, dude.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
I'm
sure every egg is just the white.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, because there's no joy in that dude.
I feel like so many of the things that are happening, most of the things that are happening are things that if you poll the American people, they maybe 60-40 disagree with most of the things that are happening now. And I feel like as a country, we have in a lot of ways moved beyond some of this stupid shit.
Have we though?
But
I feel like
as a country, but what's happening is the minority is really in charge. And by the minority, I mean Republicans. Dude, they've gerrymandered the shit out of districts.
Both parties have done that.
They have, but the Republicans have done it much
here
more.
Perhaps. I mean, I come from Illinois, where it's a Democratic voting state because of Chicago.
Yeah, I was going to say mostly because of Chicago.
Because the rest of downstate Illinois would vote Republican every time.
Same with Missouri.
You know what? And they get overridden because of Chicago. And yes, they're very salty about it.
Yeah.
You know?
And Trump's used that to his advantage.
And they've used it to their advantage too, because you have gerrymandered everywhere in Illinois. I mean,
Yeah.
it's pretty bad.
So Democrats are as guilty of it in Illinois, you would say?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I
Yeah.
mean, it really the whole gerrymandering process falls to the sitting in power party.
Right.
That's why it's important to do your census.
Yeah, do your census and vote in your local elections.
You don't even necessarily have to do your local elections. This is what the census is for.
Yeah.
The census, they take a count, and every 10 years,
Right.
they redistrict.
Right.
They shift it around for population.
Yeah.
And whomever's in power gets the opportunity to draw the boundaries. So
Yeah.
they get really, I mean, it's like Tetris.
So here we go again.
And
Mostly-
now here we're Republicans in power.
Yeah, and they're putting questions on the census
Yeah.
that target immigrants.
Right.
So that they will not report themselves, so
So-
that they will not get the funding.
Because typically the more immigrants you have, they become more Democratic leaning.
Yeah, I would say that's pretty fair.
And the
yeah.
Democrats are very fair to them with the DREAM Act and all of that.
Yeah, I would say much more fair than the
Right.
Republicans, generally
mean,
speaking.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because there still are, minorities that vote for him.
I don't get that, man.
I don't
But
get
you
it
know
either.
what?
But it's
I feel like that is the Republican Party's true power. They get the people who they're against to vote for them.
yeah, oh, absolutely.
I don't know how they do it,
Yeah, I mean, voting against their own interests
right?
all the time.
That's like mind tricks, man.
I mean, if they manage to push a new nominee through and get him on the bench, we're talking about Roe versus Wade is probably going to get overturned.
Probably.
The ACA, the Obamacare, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
So we're talking. I think I heard it was about 10 million people that would stand to lose insurance. And
I guess what I don't understand is I'm looking at it right now as a citizen looking in, seeing people sabotaging our society and
Yeah.
rolling us back.
right,
They're taking us backward,
yeah, in their interest of their own power.
right?
Yeah,
Because it's, cost effective. They're rolling things backward.
yeah, and
I don't understand how people don't see that.
Yeah, and it seems to me like the main plan is divide and conquer. Convince people that the very few people on the top aren't the problem. It's immigrants are the problem.
Right. Shifting blame.
People, people that are mooching off of welfare, it's those people. And usually when that crowd of people talks about people that are mooching off of welfare, they typically are talking about a certain class of people. I
Right.
probably don't have to tell you.
That's probably a racial stereotype right there.
generally speaking, but that's what they
And that's where the fascism starts kicking in.
Yeah.
And, we're starting to do all this by force now.
Yeah, there was, I'm sure you probably saw or heard, there was a video that Trump tweeted. This has been a while back now, probably close to a couple months, but he tweeted a video of these dudes at the end of the video yelling white power.
Right.
And then he says, oh, I didn't hear that part. But
sure.
it happens. And dude, I wanted
But this isn't the first time he's
That's
done
what
it,
I'm
though.
saying, man. I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt. Like when people were first started saying that he had, dictator tendencies, authoritarian tendencies and things like that, I thought, I think that's probably a stretch, but dude,
No,
4
he
years,
totally does.
4 years later, here we are, man.
Yeah.
Like what I always call like the point that we're at now, man, I basically feel like we're in a slow moving coup,
Yeah, kind of.
but they're trying to say the same thing.
Right, exactly.
Everything that they're doing, they point at the other side and
Yeah.
tell them that they're
It's
doing
all
it.
misdirection with these guys. So let me ask you this. Does the Republican Party survive after this? Because I don't see how it can. There's an entire generation right now that is growing up that thinks of the Republican Party. Hey, so what affiliation are you again? Oh, I'm a Republican. In their mind,
Yeah.
they immediately think you are a bigot, you're a racist, and you're just a backward thinking redneck.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Basically, and I don't mean that because I'm a redneck. I
Sure.
come from redneck people.
Right.
I mean,
you're not pointing that
no, I'm
finger.
not pointing fingers at
Right.
anyone. Don't think that. But that's what they think of you. They think of you as a backward thinking knuckle dragger.
Right. Right. Yeah, man.
And in honesty, I come from knuckle draggers too. Just saying.
From a long line
Long
of knuckle
line,
draggers.
yeah.
Absolutely, man.
Grandpa,
Yeah. Yeah.
Captain Caveman!
Yeah, man. So I honestly, I'm terrified. I'm terrified because
it worries me.
He's openly already talking about if he loses that he's not going to
Right.
transition peacefully.
Well, he's already throwing that seed.
Yeah.
And that worries me too.
So, I'm sure you've heard and read some of the possible scenarios. And
Yeah.
I think the most likely scenario, based on what I've heard and read, is that on election night, because most of the people that are doing the mail-in balloting, which those ballots will get counted later, most of those people are Democrats. Quite a bit more are Democrats.
Well, that's why the postal secretary, the newly installed postal
DeJoy.
secretary,
DeJoy
went through and disassembled a slew of voter sorting machines.
Yeah.
And now says he can't be just put back together.
Yeah. He's openly hijacking the election is what's
We have
happening.
openly hijacked our voter mail-in.
Yeah.
Because typically Democrats vote mail-in.
So I voted today.
Yeah. I didn't want to vote mail-in because I was afraid my vote wouldn't get counted for that reason.
I didn't do mail-in. So
nice.
I guess technically,
Did you do absentee then?
It's an absentee, yes.
You went there to do it?
Yeah, and me and my mom went together, and I don't think she had ever voted that way before.
Nice.
And I was content just to go because I live in a very small town, so I'm not worried about long lines at the voting polls. So I was content to go in person, but my mom, who is older,
your mom's in her 70s now.
Yeah, she's in her early 70s, so she's got concerns about COVID, which of course. So yeah, we went out there today and voted, and it was a very easy process. We went to the county courthouse and just gave them our ID, got our ballots. It was basically just like voting in person, except for I was inside the courthouse.
Yeah.
And you get to, you put your ballot in the machine. So you get to see. Yeah, you get to see your vote get cast. So,
you watch it get counted and everything.
Yeah. So I feel secure in my vote. So stop breaking shit over there, dude.
Right. Yeah, that's why I didn't want to.
Are you just going to go in person?
I think I am.
Yeah.
I thought about either waiting in line or doing what you did, going to the courthouse.
Yeah. Which I guess in our county, you would have to go to the courthouse on High Street, I think. The Cole County Courthouse.
I don't know.
I think so.
I honestly don't know where I would go.
I think that's where you would go. Yeah. Do you vote right down the street here?
Yeah, so I
used to vote there.
At the church?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When I lived over on Westview Heights.
That kind of weirds me out a little, going to a church to vote.
But, dude, there's a lot of churches that are polling places.
Yeah, I know, but that weirds me out.
Yeah. Did you hear
as a non-religious person, I'm saying.
You're a little worried that maybe there could be some bias.
Could be.
People tossing ballots out.
Evangelicals, do support a certain cause.
That's why people need to volunteer to be poll workers.
Right. But you know what? I feel like especially now with sensationalized politics and everything, it's turning people away from that.
Yeah, which is why it's more important now than ever that we do it. Because this might be our last chance.
I hope not.
We might not recover.
Man, I think we'll recover in some way. We may not ever be back at the top again.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. America's not really that great for some people.
No, it's never been great for some people.
Right.
And that's all those some people are trying to say. They're not trying to say that they want, special treatment. They just want equal treatment.
Yeah.
And bad actors are amplifying the most extreme points of view on both sides in order to divide us. And it's working very, very well.
Well, that, and I feel like with everything now in the current climate, everything is politicized.
Yeah.
Every little...
The virus.
Little anything.
Yeah.
And
everything, any news story, any big news story, there's always a conspiracy theory about it. And
between that and then the news outlet itself, this news outlet leans red.
Yeah.
This news outlet leans blue.
Right.
So they're going to write their stories and craft their stories with that slant.
Yeah. And we talked about that, man. Like I can't really stomach watching Fox News for the most part, but I force myself to watch it every now and again just to get that point of view, just to know what that side is saying.
It was funny. So we went to Dairy Queen here in town today. And they have a great big TV on in the back, and it's always banging Fox News.
Yeah, I think the last time I was in there, it was. Yeah,
I hate that. I just cringe.
Hy-Vee is the same way. Sorry, Hy-Vee.
Well, I mean, it's not like it affected my purchase any, right? I was still there.
Right.
There is, though, some places in town that have Trump signs up and like have different sayings up and things, and I'm just like, thank you for telling me that you feel that way, because I will never do business with you ever again.
So I will not say the business, but
I won't say it either. I know one.
It's a business nearby that has a big Trump sign out, and
we may be thinking the same one then.
Well, somebody has spray painted over the sign BLM.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Where's that at?
It's at Redacted, the Jeff City Country Club.
Oh, it's at the country club?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there. You know where that new gas station is? That Jack Flash gas station?
Oh, so it's that way.
It's in between your exit that you take and that gas station.
I know where you're talking.
On the right there. You can kind of see the golf course there.
Is it on the country club, or is it the Soybean Association?
I think it's I believe that building belongs to the country club. There's like a big garage there.
Oh, I got you.
Type thing. I think maybe the grounds people working there. Maybe.
Gotcha.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never done Jeff City Country Club before.
Subscribers get bonus content and early access to episodes. Find out more at patreon.com/theold77podcast.
Even though this is a presidential election, there's many, many more candidates on the ballot besides the president. Just go to Ballot Ready for a nonpartisan guide to your entire ballot. From there, you can compare candidates based on stances on issues, biography, or endorsements, and then save your choices to use when you vote by mail or in person in the voting booth. You can even request your absentee ballot. Go to ballotready.org and enter your address to make a plan to vote, and vote informed.
Your memories. Pregnancy, kids growing up, family, senior year of high school, getting engaged. You want to keep those moments forever. But the problem with most photographers is they decide which moments you keep. They'll sell you a single picture or a big all-inclusive package that might include photos you don't want at a cost that's outside of your budget. That's why I don't. You decide. A single photo, a single hour, you choose. You get all of your edited photos, everything, at Andrew Murray Photography. You get quality photos at prices you can afford. After all, they're your memories. Find us on Facebook, Andrew Murray Photography and Custom Design.
I don't get the whole country club thing myself.
Dude, I mean, I already have one expensive hobby, which is music.
Right? I mean, we're doing mine.
Dude, you can sink so much money into golf. Like I've told you before, I've worked at a couple golf courses,
right.
And there were 2 or 3 years there, man, where I played a lot of golf.
Oh, I bet. If you're doing that, though, I can see it.
Yeah, well, it was free.
Right.
It was free. That's the thing, dude.
So invest then in yourself. That way you can just bang it out, right?
Dude, I just bought a decent set of clubs,
right.
And I was good, man. But now that I have to pay for it, I might like maybe once every couple of years go out to the driving range. Do you have a set of golf clubs?
Nope.
No, never tried?
Nope.
Never been out to the driving range?
Nope.
You should try it at least once, dude.
I've tried. So I guess story time. I had a friend who loved playing golf, and he would do all of that. We used to get drunk and go outside because he lived on a set of at the edge of town by the railroad tracks, the wrong side of town. So we would hit golf balls over the train tracks, and when the train would come through, we'd try to hit the fucking train.
Of course.
Right? And there was a couple of old abandoned houses over there. There was a couple times we, broke some windows.
Yeah, it happens.
But, I mean, they were old. They were falling down,
Yeah, nobody was in there.
There was no one there.
Yeah.
They were completely overgrown, so...
We had a dude at one of the golf courses that I worked at. I worked at the city course, Oak Hills, out here. And there was one guy that we would see out there almost every night. He would go through, like, the woods surrounding the golf course, and he would find golf balls that people
yeah.
had lost, and then he would. I think what he would do was he would like in turn sell them back to us.
Yeah.
And we would use them. Yeah, like we would we would sell them to people for like $1.
Right.
you
My
know?
brother-in-law used to live next to a golf course growing up, and he said he
Mhm.
used to do that every like on Saturday or whatever day, on Sunday morning. It may have been a certain morning, Wednesday morning, whatever.
Yeah.
He'd go snorkeling in the thing
yeah.
and dig them all out
Yeah.
and sell them back for like I think $0.25 or something, right?
Yeah. We had a couple holes there there's a couple holes there at Oak Hills that have water, and I remember seeing dudes snorkeling in there.
Well, I mean, he was a kid doing it at the time, like back in the 70s. but
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey man, it's a hustle.
Right. Exactly. Well, you hustling back then,
Absolutely,
Yeah.
man. You got to have your hustle. Everybody needs a hustle, man.
making that 25 cent a ball.
Hey man, most of your best entrepreneurs started out as little small time hustlers.
Well, you got to keep going, right?
A lot of them started out as drug dealers, man.
Well, yeah.
A lot of them are in prison, but there's a few that have made it through and have translated it to being very successful in the business world. Jay-Z being one example of that.
Doesn't he invest now, like in art?
Oh, dude, yeah. I mean, he buys art. He's got his own brand.
So he's diversified a little bit.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
He's got his own brand of, I think it's vodka. So he used to always rap about Cristal.
Oh, yeah.
And then the Cristal people said some shit about like, we would rather Jay-Z not talk about our product.
Oh, no kidding.
And so he said, fuck you guys, Cristal. I'm going to start making my own shit.
That's what, yeah.
And so what is Cristal? Is it vodka?
It's champagne.
Okay. So Jay-Z has some drink that he makes.
Right.
I think it's called Ace, maybe. I don't know. man.
Nice.
I know a lot about Jay-Z, man.
You sure do, man.
Yeah, I read his book. He's got a book called Decoded.
You're big in the urban music scene.
I mean, yeah, man, I do love hip hop. Like 90% of the hip hop that is coming out today, I absolutely hate. But I love
You're
good.
getting old now.
I know. Yeah.
You're getting old now.
But I love good hip hop, man. We've talked about this.
Yeah.
Like I was a big fan. I was a big fan of NWA and like Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg
right.
and those guys when I was a kid. And then there was a period where I kind of stopped listening to rap. And I think the group that got me back into rap again was Outkast.
Yeah, back in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, you can't beat Outkast.
Dude, I worked with a girl one time, and she was a youngin'. And I asked her, we were talking music, and I was like, you know who Outkast is? And she was like, I have no clue who they are.
Mhm.
So I immediately played Miss Jackson for her,
Mhm.
and she still had no idea. I'm like, really? You've never heard this fucking song?
Wow.
Come on.
Yeah, man. You living in a hole if you haven't heard that song.
That's when I knew I was getting too old.
Being a guitar teacher has helped me to stay at least somewhat abreast of current music because I'm always teaching.
Well, you have to learn it, right?
Dude, I've teach so many students Post Malone songs. It's not even.
Dude,
funny.
I was going to ask you, what's the most, is there like
Post Malone. Yeah, I've taught a lot of Billie Eilish too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I dig Billie Eilish. You
Yeah,
like
I
Billie
like
Eilish?
Billie Eilish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have some.
She's an artist.
Absolutely, dude.
Right.
She's great, man.
She's an artist.
I had a dream. I got everything I wanted.
I have a friend who I went to school with, and I feel like she's kind of been like indoctrinated on the internet these past few months.
I think you talked about her
Yeah.
here a while back. Yeah.
And she posted a thing about Billie Eilish and how she's satanic and all of this
get
stuff.
outta
And I'm
here.
like,
Pish posh.
yeah. Go back and listen to the music that we were listening to.
Right.
And there was some pretty bad shit there
She's
too.
bored.
She must be. Man.
This Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish is the perpetually bored person.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's her shtick.
Yeah. Yeah. She's got a great voice, man.
She's a mumbler. I like that.
And her brother produces all of her stuff for her.
Yeah, he's a nut job too.
Thaddeus.
What a name.
And apparently, I think Thaddeus has some of his own music, sans Billy, but I
Yeah,
haven't listened to
that's
any
cool.
of that. But one of my favorite things about listening to Billie Eilish is her production. I think her songs are produced really, really well.
Right? Yeah. No, I'm totally with you there.
Are there any new artists that you're digging these days?
I've been digging Megan Thee Stallion.
Okay.
I've been listening to her.
I don't know that one.
I've hit Cardi B and WAP up quite a bit lately.
Yeah, we've talked about that one.
Beat it up, nigga, catch a charge. extra large and extra hard. Put this pussy right in your face. Swipe your nose like a credit card. Hop on top, I wanna ride. I do a giggle, what is inside? Spit in my mouth, look in my eyes.
So I always do New Music Friday on Spotify because I'm a Spotify guy.
I'm a YouTube guy when it comes to music.
Really?
Yeah.
So like now, so you talking about like you watch music videos or do you watch?
I have it on and it's like a video, like even on my phone, I use YouTube Music.
Yeah.
But I guess it's because I've used it so long, it knows what I like.
Mm-hmm.
So to go anywhere else, like I have to start all over again.
I see what you're saying.
And
Yeah,
it's
that's
like,
why.
man.
Yeah, that's why I stick with Spotify because I've been doing Spotify.
So I've been listening to this one quite a bit. This is the thing I hate. Commercials, man.
Oh, yeah.
Right? You get commercials straight away.
YouTube.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's the only downside to YouTube.
Yeah, but if you get like YouTube Red or whatever it's
Right,
called.
yeah, I ain't paying for that shit.
Yeah, me neither.
This one.
I'm that bitch. Been that bitch, still that bitch.
I don't know why it makes me laugh.
Who is this?
Megan Thee Stallion.
Oh, okay.
Break a nigga into pieces, had to X some cheesy niggas out my circle like a pizza. I'm way too exclusive. I
Like
don't
a
shop
pizza.
on Insta boutiques, all them little ass clothes only fit
Fake booties.
Bad bitch, still talking cash.
It's got a nice beat.
Right.
It's made of weights.
She's got a good flow, man.
Yeah. I dig it.
I like her flow.
Yeah, I dig it.
Yeah, and you can totally tell she was a stripper too, because she's got that nasty thing to her. you
Yeah,
know?
she definitely sounds nasty.
Right. Oh, totally.
Yeah.
It's funny because you hear some of the other guys and they're like, "Oh, she gross." I'm like, "Whatever."
Who are there other female rappers that you were into?
Doja Cat.
I don't even know who that is.
You don't know who that one is?
No.
I've been digging her too.
All this woman. All of them bitches hating, I have you with me. All of my niggas saying you mad committed. Really to anybody, you had them pretty. All of the body, I need ass and titties.
I'm trying to think,
Let
man.
me see
like,
here. I know I got one. I just saw the damn thing.
this probably shouldn't even count, but probably my favorite female rapper was
Like we're talking new rappers, right?
Well, no, I'm talking like all time. So I'm
Gotcha.
thinking like Salt and Peppa and
Oh well,
Queen
all
Latifah.
time. Yeah, yeah.
But my answer shouldn't count. But I'm going with Lisa Left Eye Lopez
Oh, she was nuts.
because her verse on Waterfalls was dope.
Did you feel personally attacked by Waterfalls?
No, why would I feel personally attacked?
I don't know. I just wondered.
No,
At the time, I remember a girl I was dating was like,
it's a sad song.
"Yeah,
It's about AIDS, right?
you know,
I believe it's about
think
AIDS.
I think it's up to her interpretation because I thought it was like, you know, don't go back to that guy that did you dirty because he'll do you dirty again.
Well, there's an aspect of that, but I believe there's a line in there. Somebody can fact check this. There's a line in there
Don't do that.
T-Boz says where she says 4 letters took him.
Excuse me.
4 letters took him to his final resting place. 4 letters being AIDS.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
So another one I'm really digging is Meg Myers.
Don't know her either.
You don't know Meg Myers?
No.
So Meg Myers.
God, you're so more hip than I am, and you're older than me.
This is my favorite song right now. Meg Myers covered "Running Up That Hill."
It sounds very 80s.
It's
There's
an
a
80s
lot of
artist.
stuff that's coming out these days that sounds like it was made in
Yeah,
the 80s.
yeah,
I can dig that.
yeah.
80s isn't my favorite decade. There's some good gems in there.
Yeah. So here she is. She's powerful, man.
She's got a strong voice.
Yeah.
It reminds me of like kind of almost like Grace Slick from Jefferson Airplane.
Yeah, she kind of has that vibe.
There's a great female artist that I love.
Dude,
She was
back in the
awesome.
day when I was doing Scott Uncensored, I did a whole Meg Myers episode. She's put out some things. I've really enjoyed her career,
Right on.
to be honest.
Well, I tried to get you into my other favorite artist, Mikey Mike, but you didn't like Mikey Mike.
Man, I don't care for Mikey Mike. I'm sorry.
It's okay, man.
I've also been listening to some Phantogram.
You've got your hand on a button now.
Don't know.
You don't know them? Let me see if I can find someone else that maybe you don't know. Do you know Tove Lo with Habits?
Nope.
Gotta stay high
No.
all the time.
No. I
That
like the
was out a
subject
couple years
matter,
ago.
though.
Yeah, well, you know, it's She's the other dirty girl, like, you know, she's the white dirty girl, if you will.
Right on. You got to have one of those two.
Right. I've always, though, like, Highly Suspect is another one. My Name is Human. Been listening to that one quite a bit. Derek,
you were just like...
Derek tried sending me some stuff, and I was like, man, I've already been listening to them. Thanks, though.
I'm so auto-tuned out, dude.
See, I was in radio forever, and I was totally in country radio.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm being honest, I cannot stand country. Like, that 10-year stint in country radio ruined country music for me.
Well, man.
Like, I like the old classic country.
Me too.
Up to a certain point.
Right.
You know, even the 90s country, I dig it.
I dig some Garth Brooks.
Yeah, I like Garth. He's all right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We start throwing some more, like, Bon Jovi sounds into things.
Yeah.
We get more popped rock.
Well, that's the
I'm
thing,
done.
dude. Like, country music of today is not country music at all, dude. Like, it's pop music.
It's warmed over pop.
It's pop music, and they add some pedal steel in there.
Yeah.
They add some instruments that you associate with country music, and they call it country.
Or effects that they, you know, associate with country.
Yeah.
Like, you hear a lot of acoustic, you know, pedals.
Yeah, a lot of the twang type
Right.
stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. You know what a pedal steel is, right?
Oh, yeah, the lap steel. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So one of the guys that I play with at church on Sundays,
for real?
He is learning how to play the pedal steel. Have you ever like actually watched somebody play with those things
it's
before?
amazing.
They're doing stuff with their
it's
feet, and yeah, man. That's one instrument I've never had the opportunity to even attempt to play, and I
Really?
would love to try it.
That sounds cool.
I got to hit up my homeboy Hunter O'Donnell. He's a great bass player. I play with him at church on Sundays. He's in a bunch of different bands and stuff. Yeah, I got to hit him up for some of that, man.
Man, one of these days, I want to grab you, and we're going to go over to the Covered Bridge Market.
Okay.
What is it? Up? Is it down? I don't know. It's over by Russellville somewhere. Anyway, every Saturday, just before noon, like from 10 to noon, they have a straight-up hoedown jam.
Right
and
on.
Everyone, it's open to all. Like,
Cool.
there's like 10, 12 guitars up in there. Last time I went, there was a dude on an electric guitar.
Nice.
There's a gal playing the harp. There was another dude on a violin. There was a kid on a cello playing.
Wow.
This was the coup de grace for me, man. They had the biggest, tallest 6-foot dude ever with a great big 8-foot diameter wash tub upside down, playing it with a stick.
Yeah.
It was the best.
I love it. Now you're not you're talking about like the old style washboards where you
No. So this is the tub. It's a great big, I mean, this thing was enormous. You could probably hold 40 gallons of water in this thing. So they used to fill those up. And
You're talking about like a bathtub?
Kind of. They would fill that thing up. Then they would put the board that you're talking, the board in there.
Yeah.
That's their scrub board. So they would wash the clothes with the board.
Yeah.
But they would hold everything in the tub. He takes the tub, turns it upside down, runs a string from the underside of the tub. It comes up, and then on top of the tub, he puts like a broom handle, right?
Wow.
This string then comes all the way up, and at the very top, he tapes it super tight. And so it's completely tight on there. He's got the string running from the tub, which has now become his resonator, going up the stick, and he's holding on to it, playing it like a bass.
Wow.
And it sounds just like a bass.
Dude, you got to...
And it doesn't matter what you play on it because there's only one note, but it sounds, if you do it right, you can just pluck that thing the whole time, and that's what he did.
Wow.
It was amazing.
I need to see a video of somebody doing that.
It was so cool.
Yeah.
I've always heard about that, but I had never seen it until that.
Yeah, we need to go. We need to hit that place up sometime. I'll bring my guitar.
My kids could have cared less. But I was just like in awe of these people who clearly had their own thing going on.
That's cool though, man.
But boy, it was amazing.
Yeah.
I loved it.
There's a local group. Oh man, I'm going to screw up their name. Like the Monroe Street Jubilee, I think. I'm probably screwing it up, man, but they're a local group. One of the girls that works at 60 Store is I saw her play with those groups, and she was playing the washboard.
That's cool.
And they were doing they do a bunch of old hymnals and stuff like that, and it was great. Like I never I didn't go to church as a kid. I never listened to hymnals, but it was really fun to watch.
Yeah,
man.
I did, but I didn't get into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I play.
Well, yeah, you're playing for the Lord now.
I play contemporary Christian every Sunday, and I'm sorry, Jesus, but I don't listen to it on the other days of the week.
No,
it's not my favorite.
But you play it though.
Yeah, and I thoroughly enjoy playing it because I enjoy the people that I play the music with.
So are you there for the music or are you there for the message?
The music.
Yeah.
For sure, man. Like
I can't get into that message, and I apologize for that.
No, don't apologize, dude. I'm not like
I just can't.
No, man. People assume that because I play at church that
Right.
I'm like a hardcore Christian or something.
Yeah.
But I'm not.
Yeah.
I considered myself to be an atheist up until I had all that weird shit happen to me.
You know, I don't know if I tried to be an atheist.
Yeah.
But I just don't think I could.
So are you more agnostic?
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess it would be more along the lines of agnostic.
Well,
I believe what I believe.
Yeah. And you're open to.
And I'm open to interpretation.
You know, I think that's a safe place to start from.
You know, I like to say that I'm religiously unaffiliated.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I would not lend my talents to just any church. Like, I would not be doing it if it was like a Pentecostal church or something like that.
I was going to ask, do they pass snakes around and talk in tongues?
No, man. The church that I play at is First Christian Church, which is the denomination is Disciples of Christ. And
I don't know what that is.
It's well, I'm not the person to really ask as far as the
that's
history of it. But
that's the denomination?
Yeah,
I've never heard of that one.
That's the denomination, and you know, there's a lot of good people that go to that church, man. They're very open-minded. They're much more open-minded than many other churches as far as being open to people of other sexuality choices.
I'm with you now. Okay, yeah, I could get now. That's a church no pun intended, but that's a church I could get behind.
Yeah. That's an unfortunate pun.
Right, that's an unfortunate pun.
No, man, they're good people though. They treat me good. I always enjoy doing it, especially in these weird COVID times.
Oh man, yeah. I was gonna ask, how's that go? How does that work?
Well, we went back and did church inside for like a month, maybe.
Oh yeah, because in the summer you did it outside.
Yeah, well, I'll be there this Sunday. We've been doing it at Riverside Pavilion.
Wicked.
Yeah, and the weather has been really nice so far.
That's cool.
So we'll see. I haven't looked at the forecast for Sunday. I'm assuming because it's at like 9 a.m. I have to get there at like 8 a.m.
So like all welcome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
I was just thinking if anybody was listening to this, if they were like, oh, you know,
yeah, I mean, if
they'll hear it on a Tuesday thinking, maybe this Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely. Come join us. We do. I think they do. They've been doing services outdoors every weekend on Sunday at 9 a.m. So I don't know. We'll see what happens when things start to get chilly outside. If they'll try to move it back indoors, we'll see what's going on with the virus.
Well, I mean,
then.
Eventually that's going to have to happen.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I remember Craig Ferguson. He had the talk show. Do you remember when he would bleep people out? He would put an image of his face over their mouth, and he would make some weird sound effect.
And it would be like a duck quacking.
Yeah, some weird shit. Or he would be saying something weird.
It'd be like some weird shit like that. I'll go back and post and edit that.
The more I think about it, the more I feel like shit, man. Maybe I should just drop $20 a month and just get Creative Cloud.
Man, I'll tell you what, that Creative Cloud, if you can do it,
well,
my God, it's so worth it.
I would need a little bit of mentoring from my good buddy Scott. And the only one that I really would care about is Audition, because I've got all these ideas, all this musical ideas that I need to record, but I just like my old desktop computer, which had Audition on it. It's Shotcraft.
Dude, you should just bring it over here.
Bring what?
Bring your guitar over here and your mic.
Oh yeah,
your good mic that we were using. Bring that thing and we'll record you up.
Okay. Since you're more computer savvy than I am these days, maybe I could take my old hard drive out of the computer that I just mentioned.
Yeah.
And maybe you could help me recover some of the shit on it. Would you know how to do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
To a degree, I do. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I have.
Is it one like this?
Like a desktop like that?
No, the hard drive. So
oh, sorry.
So do you see the Legos?
Yes.
That's my hard drive case. I made that for this, but it's a hard drive. It's a solid state hard drive.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's in the machine, of course. Yeah, not external.
That used to be the hard drive in the laptop that you're using right now.
Right, and now it's your temporary.
I took it out, formatted it, and that's become our temporary hard drive. It's like 120 gigs.
Yeah, nice.
And so when we're recording right now, before I would always run out of space because my computer only has 1 TB.
Yeah.
Right. So I ran out of space every time because I'm recording like hours at a time.
Yeah.
But it records in WAV. So those are
So
huge
those are big
files.
Yeah, you can't
And-
get it to record it like
No,
to MP3.
it always defaults to WAV, completely uncompressed.
Really?
And that's what you want, really.
Yeah.
You want to start off.
So you've got a high quality.
Right. You want to start off with great quality.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's all what you put into it too. And that's
Uh-huh.
all my settings.
Uh-huh.
Like right now, the interface is set for 44-100.
Yeah, which is a high
stereo.
rate, yeah.
That's CD quality.
Yeah, I think that's what it opens to by default,
Yeah.
right? 44.1. Yeah.
44.1. I think we're at 30K.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we're saving it at 320. So we're
Mhm.
saving it the highest possible.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the same standards I use at work.
Whenever you submit the podcast, do you compress it?
I do run compression on it. Matt and I both edit the show, and we're both production guys. So early on, man, we were just producing the hell out of the thing.
Right.
And it was 2, 3, maybe a month now it's been. I was talking with one of our coworkers, Shelly.
Mm-hmm.
And Shelly works at Cumulus.
Mm-hmm.
And she gave me a really good piece of advice. She was like, hey, man, she's like, I was listening to this episode. And she's like, and it was great. And I was like, yeah. She's like, well, how, what about the other ones? She's like, yeah, that one was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, what's the difference? And she goes, we got music underneath all of them.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, we were both running music beds underneath it because it just sounded good to us.
Yeah.
And it turned her off.
Yeah.
And I heard that from more than one person now. So we adjusted our editing now.
Yeah.
So
Which
we're
makes
just right. That's great feedback to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Because
we're just now doing the envelope at the front and the end, and then we're throwing sound effects and things in between.
makes your life easier anyway.
Oh my God, yes.
And if people like it better,
right, if I don't have to take a bed and loop it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Granted, that's what I love to do. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But if I don't have to do that for 40 minutes,
Well,
like take a 2-minute tune.
the cool thing now, since we're not putting bed music underneath, is for those occasional segments where you do add a little bit underneath, it makes it that much more.
Makes it pop a little.
Makes it that I appreciate it that much more.
Those are very editing intensive, and
Mhm.
as of late, especially, like you have to.
You mean just putting an extra bed under there?
Oh yeah, because you have to go get it. You got to find it. You got to throw it up in the multi-track. You got to line it up. You got to line up the levels. Make sure those are going
right.
Find your endpoints, your start point. Maybe you want it to start different. Maybe you want it to stretch out a little bit more.
Yeah.
So you have to do all those edits.
Yeah.
I mean, if you know what you're doing, you can do it in probably 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
If you are like us starting from scratch.
Yeah. I wonder, you could probably show me, like, I kind of sort of know how to do this. So one of my favorite, so I've dabbled in a little bit of hip hop production too. I've got a pretty nice keyboard that I got a ton of really cool sounds with. I got a lot of cool drum sounds. But the thing that I want to dabble in with hip hop production that I haven't dabbled in that much yet is sampling.
Oh yeah.
And I think Audition would probably be good for that. Like, because with Audition, you can take a block of audio and stretch it to fit a certain amount of time, right?
Yeah, you can do that.
And you can have it change pitch if you want, or you can keep it at the same pitch.
You can even change keys with Audition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you can do that.
I need to get into that.
Audition's very limited though in terms of recording for music.
Yeah.
You're probably going to want something, with a little bit more power, like more Pro Tools-y.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
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 Audition's great for radio.
Yeah.
And kind of what you're talking about, maybe home studio recording.
Right.
Podcasting works great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems to be kind of the standard in radio, I've noticed.
Yeah, it's become that. I ran into a buddy of mine's office at work today, a colleague, and he had two versions of it.
Mm-hmm.
Blew me away, of Cakewalk.
I remember
Cakewalk 2 Pro.
Yeah.
I said, dude, there's no way you have those. Hell yeah, he said.
I remember that, dude.
Oh my God. Cakewalk 2 Pro. You'd throw that in, and the first time you'd load it up, it would load this beautiful Cakewalk.
Yeah.
This song that they had made up
beautiful.
in the multi-track. It was amazing.
Somebody posted something on Facebook the other day. You remember Winamp?
Yes. God, I hated Winamp.
And all of the skins and shit that you could get with it.
Super cool.
Yeah, somebody posted something like they were bringing the Winamp skins back. I don't know if it was like an app that you downloaded or whatever, and it would make it look like the old Winamp skins.
Right.
Yeah, man, I used to have that shit on my computer back when I had Cool Edit Pro.
And Napster too, probably.
Yeah, I did a lot of downloading on Napster. The great thing about Napster is like half of the shit was labeled wrong.
Oh yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure like I'm pretty sure like I downloaded like Red Wine and they had it down as like Bob Marley or something.
Right,
you know,
right.
like there were a lot of songs.
Oh, I've got a folder on one of these drives here that I've got all my music on that straight came from Napster.
Yeah.
There's a lot of mislabeled stuff.
I've, on that old hard drive that I mentioned earlier, I'm pretty sure I have a lot of old music because that computer came from the days before I really had Spotify.
Yeah.
But now, dude, like, God forbid an asteroid hits the planet.
Right.
Because all of my shit is over the internet. It's all streaming now.
I know.
I do all Spotify.
All my stuff too.
So if the internet ever goes down, man, I'm screwed. I do have some old CDs that I've held on to.
Yeah, I've got some CDs in the closet here.
But fuck, I don't even know that
I don't have
any.
a CD player.
I know, man. Like, I think I could probably play them on my Xbox if I really wanted to.
I could play them on a DVD player around here or the computer.
Yeah, well, yeah. But dude, most computers don't have DVD or CD.
I have one of the older ones, so I do. And I disassembled. I tore the shit out of a laptop just to figure out how to get into it that was dead. There was no way it was going to come back.
Mm-hmm.
And that hard drive, funny enough, is the hard drive that's in your computer right now.
Interesting.
So that's legit. That's from 4 years ago.
Yeah. Well, dude, man, I told you, I went to school. I got a degree in computer networking, and I learned all about how to work with desktop computers,
right?
But never once did I take a class about popping laptops.
Oh man,
laptops open.
Everything I know, I'm self-taught.
Yeah,
YouTube. I cracked it open long before YouTube.
Yeah,
like I went to school for computer programming, so there was a time like I was just completely buried in computers.
Yeah,
loved it.
Yeah,
I ended up going one time to a computer. Some kind of fair up at the Illinois State Fair in Springfield and bought a motherboard and a case and I built the whole thing.
Cool.
Yeah. So that was cool.
Yeah, man. It was enjoyable to me, but it wasn't something that I could see myself working in every day, man.
My teacher was a bit abrasive. I don't do well with a bit abrasive because I get abrasive back.
Yeah.
So we kind of had a little in and out. I ended up not going back. Failed out.
My main teacher when I was working on that networking degree was the son of my commercial arts teacher in high school, Mr. Binky. And Mr. Binky, dude, and his son Sam
Sam Binky.
Sam was my main instructor when I was doing my computer network degree. Sam's brother Pete.
Sam and Pete Binky.
Yeah, Pete, who's a drummer.
Really?
He's a photographer. He did pictures of me and Jesse
I don't mean to laugh.
It's
solely from an outside point of view.
Right.
Trust me, you guys are fine people, I'm sure. But
They
your
are.
last name Binky,
all
I think of is like Maggie off The Simpsons. That's the sound effect I hear.
You know, dude, it's so funny because I've never even like made that connection. It's spelled Benke. So it's
Maggie sound effect here.
Yeah, right. Yeah, absolutely. Dude, Mr. Binky was so cool. Anybody that had Mr. Binky will tell you that they loved him.
That's cool.
I have a couple friends that I did that commercial arts class with that are teaching art or are successful artists in their own right, selling their own artwork.
That's cool.
And my buddy Derek Goon, shout out to Derek Goon.
What up, Derek?
Yeah, he's an art teacher in Wichita, Kansas. Shout out to all the teachers right now that are trying to give these kids an education in the middle of a pandemic.
You guys are awesome.
Yeah,
I tell you.
Underappreciated and underpaid.
As always.
But I appreciate you guys.
Hell yeah.
I was going to be a teacher, and I guess I am a teacher.
You are a teacher.
But I'm thankful I don't work for a public school district.
Amen.
That was a stressful job before COVID, but now
it'd almost be impossible.
I love teaching
How much more can they absorb?
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, here's one thing that I learned when I was working on getting my teaching degree was that not only are teachers underpaid, but like when you walk into a classroom, 99% chance all the stuff that you see hanging on the walls,
they bought it.
Yeah. Comes out of their own pocket. And, on paper, they work 40 hours a week, but there's very, very few teachers, maybe some of the ones that have been doing it for 30 years and are getting ready to retire, but most teachers are putting in way more than 40 hours a week. And it's pretty much an unwritten rule that you need to be involved in after school stuff,
Right.
clubs.
Just think of all those jobs, or maybe you have a job right now where you get paid salary, right? You
Yeah.
get such and such amount. Oh my God, that's great, right? But
Yeah.
you got to put all the hours into.
Right.
That's teaching.
Absolutely.
And then they defund you,
yeah.
right? So you got to throw in your own money.
Yeah, man, it's hard to be. You got to jump through a lot of hoops to become a teacher
really
in the
gotta
first
want it.
place,
Yeah,
and
man.
it's a job. It's one of those jobs that
That's not a job, I feel like. That's a calling.
exactly. It's
You know?
nobody goes into teaching expecting that they're going to get rich. There's a very few successful that that reach the college level that do end up making
Right.
a lot of money, but that's very few and far between.
I was lucky at my little itty-bitty high school that we had a college-level professor that taught government, and because his kids were there.
We had a Latin teacher that
Oh.
was a professor. I think I've told you about him.
That's amazing.
His name was Doc Roberts, and he got in trouble for shooting off a musket once in the school courtyard.
Awesome.
And
I like him immediately.
He had a bugle that he would keep in a drawer in his desk, and so like if somebody would fall asleep in class, he would walk up to them and blast the bugle. He was so cool.
That's awesome.
He was so cool. Yeah, man.
Feel free to call us on the old 77 listener line
at 573-246-0779.
This is the one and only Old 77. Subscribers get bonus content and early access to episodes. Find out more at patreon.com/the Old 77 podcast. Thanks for listening to the Old 77.